Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are on the Riviera line, Exeter to Plymouth and Paignton once again. And we are in the CrossCountry Class 220, probably one of, if not the most requested train ever for this game. I do like it. It does have some. The main sound set is recycled from Train Simulator Classic, but it is still pretty dang decent. And today we are going over the week 2 of the season of reveals from Dovetail Games. But first, we'll set up the train. We've got 150 over there on the platform, heading to Exmouth. Then I assume we have. Is there anything in the depot? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Oh well. So let's get the train started. Unlock the doors. We don't need the DRA because we've got a green signal. I am using London Midland signal visibility mod, but not the live weather mod today. Let's put the headlights today. And instrument lights already on. Let's go get the safeties on. Do vigilance TP. I'll do that in a minute. DSD, AWS, TPWS, and there we go. Having seen 220s in real life and heard them, the sounds are pretty accurate. However, the one thing missing is, and I presume this is due to licensing rather than the fault of the developers, is that the trains are not this clean in real life, not by a long shot. They're much more weathered than this. If you're wondering what service we're doing, it's 1 Victor 41 Bristol Temple Mead to Paignton, stopping at Exeter St David's, Newton Abbot, Torquay, and Paignton. So. Did I get the headlights on? I did. So, first part of Season of Reveals. Checking the notes. Stuttgart to Heilbronn is, as I'm recording this, out now on consoles and almost out for PC. It should be out in a few hours, usual times. Goes the line toward Exmouth and Salisbury off to our left. Oh goodness. Yeah. Does sound pretty decent, the Class 220. This is included with Deluxe Edition if you're getting a base version of Train Sim World, or it's available to purchase separately alongside the Riviera line, well, as part of TSW6. So yes, Stuttgart to Heilbronn coming out. I'm not going to get it on release, nor do I think I ever will get it, because A, I'm just not that interested in the route concept, and B, it just seems to be a bit throwing authenticity out of the window, since, for one thing, it's a swamp of DB red in an era when there are a lot of other DB liveries still running around. There's a Class 802. Then there's also a lot of empty yards, and it just seems a bit short, so I don't think I'm going to pick it up myself. Season of Reveals. So the first announcement is, I believe, the best announcement. So I believe that for this announcement, I believe they're starting off with the best announcement that we could have possibly had. It's a British route. It's the Medway Valley line from Firefly Simulations. What that is a route that hooks onto Southeastern High Speed near Rochester, I think. So yeah, hang on, my notes are misbehaving. So it's a debut route for. One thing I was excited about Firefly is because they are made up of a bunch of they're made up of quite a few developers who have been absolutely excellent in the train sim world modding scene. Here's Marsh Barton, like for example, Fox and Bescott of the team were the guys behind the West Coast Mainline South Enhancement Pack and Timetable. That was really, really good. I played a bit of that. That was actually a lot of fun. Then, yeah, like, you get the idea. It's a bunch, and then there's also a lot of other people in there too, all of whom have experience in the TSW modding space. Already up to 100 miles an hour. Impressive. Put to notch 2. Yes. Absolutely flying south. Then, yeah, so yeah, the Medway Valley, it will include, sorry, I'm trying to find my notes here. It will include a lot of details, including, but not limited to, signal boxes, foot and level crossings, each with bespoke information and realistic, oh goodness, trackside clutter. Wow, the throttle lever on this thing is absolute beast to move. Look how slowly it moves. Anyway. And then the rolling stock included will be the Class 375, Class 375 Stroke 3 and Stroke 6, both of which are new variants of the Class 375, but they are upgraded versions of the Class 375 that we got with, oh, what was it now? Southeastern High Speed. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart there. This class, I'll let you know. So some of the new features on the Class 375 included, but are not limited to, new audio and guard mode functionality, which is pretty cool. Oh crumbs! 100% brake. Okay, it's not that urgent, but that was almost a disaster there. Almost ran through that 75 limit. That's what comes of looking at my notes. Starting to follow the coastline now. So it will be from the route coverage will extend from Strood on Southeastern High Speed, and then via Maidstone and Paddock Wood to Tonbridge. Also included is the stretch from Southeastern High Speed from Gravesend to Rainham, enabling gameplay to the likes of Hugh Junction and Gillingham Depot. This section has seen significant improvements compared to SEHS and bring the route to a total of 26. Ooh, hello, double CrossCountry 220 there. Bring the route to a total of 26 new and 13 updated miles, so 39 miles in total, which is pretty decent for a debut DLC. Then, approaching whatever this place is, which I cannot remember the name for. Just be warned, I'll probably miss quite a few whistleboards today. So among in the thing, the description for the Medway Valley line, for PC players, all of the quality you're used to in the Fife Circle and West Coast Mainline South enhancement mods is present but dialed up to 11, with the team having full control making the route from scratch, which is now something Gen 9 console players can enjoy too. So this will not be compatible with Gen 8, which frankly, I'm not even sure why Gen 8s are supported even more. They're half a decade out of date. I know a lot of people still use them because they don't have any choice, but I just wish that they would just drop Gen 8 support entirely. So the Stroke 3 version will be the primary method of traction, and it will have a more in-depth simulation of the UK GSMR radio system. In other words, this will allow you to both key in your head code at the start of every service, which is something that we have seen before. However, not in Train Sim World, but in Train Sim Classic. A lot of Armstrong, some of the more modern era Armstrong powerhouse add-ons for TS Classic do have the key in your head code at the start of service functionality, but we've never seen that in TSW before, so that is absolutely excellent. Here's Dawlish Warren Station. Start slowing down a bit. 70 limit coming up. Then you will have a simulated conversation with the signaler when contacting them. You'll even hear different voices based on the nearest local signal box. Wait, just let that sink in real quick. And it gets better. Alongside this, the 375 Stroke 3 is getting a full new sound set, full guard mode functionality, proper dynamic suspension support, and of course onboard passenger announcements. All of this can be enjoyed on the 375 Stroke 6, which is also included, which means meaning both 3 and 4 car versions of the 375 with the old AD trans headlights are available. Coming up on Dawlish Station itself, passing along the beautiful seawall. There's a 150. Oh, crumbs. I have to do a sort to the horn for the inevitable rail fans are milling about. Yep, do like that. Then let's try and get a shot while we're here. Why not? With like the this fence is in the way. Really? Actually no. This looks better. This, for me, the 220 also layers onto the Birmingham Cross City line in the what is it? The West Midlands Cross Country 170 timetable, which is nice. And I believe it, yeah, it doesn't layer on anywhere else for me, which is slightly annoying. It will layer onto the Great Western Express remaster if we get that by the end of 2025, as has been promised by Liam of Grump Dog Games. Between Strood and Paddock Wood, one can look forward to a steady stream of half-hourly services based on the 2025 working timetable, as well as extended Tonbridge runs and other alternative movements throughout the day. The Class 395 and 465 from SEHS also layer on, and also visit the Medway Valley line on occasion. The Lineside Industry in Aylesford, as well as Tonbridge West Yard at Hugh Junction, get freight action thanks to the Class 66 also layering in from Southeastern High Speed. Continuing along the Dawlish seawall here.
Clear up to 75. Oh, there's a 60 board. Never mind.
Might as well stay at 60. 5.5 miles to Newton Abbot. And there's a couple of rail tours as well, but no details on what locomotives that will be with. I hope there's at least one with Flying Scotsman, because like Flying Scotsman's just become the rail tour staple of TSW at this point. Fairly enough. There's another 802, the Stroke 1, I think? Yeah, the Stroke 1. The Medway Valley line will come next year, and it just so happens to be the line's 170th anniversary, so that's absolutely excellent timing. Here's Teignmouth. Have a look for the floating asset right there. Basically, yeah. Yeah. Then, yeah. And there's also a route map diagram as well, if you, so if you could go and have a look at that if you want to. Next up, it's the DBBR-147, which is a new locomotive to the game, and is from Dovetail Games for, again, the Stuttgart to Heilbronn route. So it will be a new German locomotive. It's actually, funnily enough, in the same family of freight locomotives as one of the worst German add-ons in the game. That being the Skyhook Games DBBR-187 that was made for Köln to Aachen a very long time ago and is completely broken to this day. Thankfully, Skyhook's modern stuff is much better quality, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So, it will have a 2010s era timetable for Stuttgart to Heilbronn, and looks to be pretty decently along in development, so I'd say expect this thing in next month or two. But that's just a guess on my part. It will have... And it will also be used for passenger services as well, with the Dostos and Wagens and Wittenberger Sturwagen cab car. And it looks pretty decent, but again, it's for Stuttgart to Heilbronn, something which I'm not going to get. So, yeah. Next up, it is New York to Stamford. This is the first American route since the Morristown line. Well, technically, by Dovetail, if you exclude the Southern Pacific route announced by High Iron Simulations, that doesn't look too good, if I'm being honest. New York to Stamford. It has quite. From the screenshots, it looks very, very early on in development. We do have an AWS warning there, so let's start slowing down. So the route coverage is going to be from either Grand Central or New York Penn to Stamford. You'll get the Metro North M8 electric multiple unit, which you don't have any pictures of, by the way. Then also, we'll get some Amtrak stuff, which will be the ACS 64 and I presume the Metro, maybe the Metroliner cab car. I'm not too sure, and then probably the Acela as well. The images shown, they're careful to clarify that these images are very much a work in progress and contain unfinished lighting or temporary looking for floating development assets. Start slowing down for the 40 limit into Newton Abbot. Single yellow. Then, The route will have a large range of variety, including local express and several semi-express patterns. Trains with short turn at New Rochelle or at Harrison and deadhead positioning moves. Oh, HST Castle Set from Great Western Express. That is. Oh, hello. Right, we have 1 minute to get into Newton Abbot if we want to be on time. How long are we at Newton Abbot? 3 minutes. Okay, so even if we arrive late, we'll be more than on time. Let's just cut the throttle now that we're at 30 miles an hour. Looks as though we're coming in on one of the side platforms. Then, it will have 54 miles of Newark to Stamford will have 54 miles of track and 24 stations, and additional Metro North services playable on playable as part of the Harlem Line and Hudson Line. And yeah, that's all the information that's all the information we get. It's very, very early on, and I'm honestly surprised they announced it this early. Only 8 seconds late. That's what I call progress.
This is a cross-country service to Payton. The next station is Torquay.
See some stuff that I want to get. Open the door. Bam. Fire extinguisher. Oh, I think I've got a cannon at Newton Abbot. Yeah, there it is. Watch this 150 come in real quick. Hello, mate. It's just a 2-car. Wonder where you're going. Right, let's fire off the cannon. Just headphone noise warning. Yeah. I do like that. I do like those cannon collectibles. A bit startling if you're not expecting it, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. Let's have a look at the interior. These are compatible with Garbed, of course. Here's the cross-country first class. Obviously very clean. You wouldn't see a cross-country train looking this nice in real life because, well, it's a cross-country train. They keep their trains, to be brutally honest, in quite a dilapidated condition. Next up in the season of reveals is the more news on the Class 90 by Alan Thompson Sim. Now, I'm just not going to get this because I have major ethical concerns around the Alan Thompson Sim company as a whole, which I refer you to Maverick Hunter Daniels' video on the ATS Class 745 Flirt add-on for Train Sim Classic. You can find all the information you need to there about the whole thing. Yeah. So we've got some new screenshots of it. Honestly, it looks pretty decent. Like, oh, crumbs. That was I almost left a minute early. Oops. Anyway, it will have 5 liveries. So we'll have a new timetable and 5 scenarios for the Euston to Milton Keynes route. And yeah, and ATS, to be fair, do seem to be pulling out all the stops for this. They're also developing this in collaboration with the Turkish development group And Games, who've worked with Alan Thompson in the past and also developed the rather excellent Taurus Mountains route in Turkey for TS Classic, which is really nice. Let me see. The Class 90 will have a fully operational BIS working data code.
This is a cross-country service to Payton.
Working data code entry panel, realistic neutral section functionality. UK safety systems are fully modeled, including AWS, TPWS, and DSD a working speed set feature and the interactive GSMR from the guys at Firefly Simulations, I presume, which is just excellent, which means maybe Firefly have done it so all other development groups can access it, so Dovetail will also have the fully working GSMR on their future routes as well, which would be an absolute plus. About to branch off onto the painted branch here. Shush. We've also, Alan Thompson have also introduced multiple working capability, allowing for heavy haul operations with the other Class 90s. That sounds pretty good. There's a limited selection of liveries in the screenshots because because the Alan Thompson team is trying to get approval for the licensed brand shown, but in the screenshots outside of the editor, it's shown to have a DB Cargo red livery, and it looks as though they're trying to get Freightliner stuff as well, maybe rail freight as well. And also the Imbue group have made deliveries, not the Alan Thompson team they're working on. So, it's no less than 3 different teams working on this project, which is pretty impressive. And then last reveal is a gameplay video for Liberec to Starapaka by Vector Simulations, which is the first, check route for TSW, which looks really impressive. I'm not going to show it here due to copyright. And yeah, and they repost what they said in the October roadmap, so nothing too new there apart from the video. So, and then in week 3, Monday, December 15th, which is the last week, expect 3 new add-on announcements and 2 add-on updates. So those 2 add-on updates, you know what I think those are? I think at least one of them is the... What is it? I hope at least one of them is the GWR HST Farewell Pack. So I really hope that the Great Western Express remaster is finally announced for TS, is finally gets a release date, because it's been far too long. We've also got some Christmas Mastery challenges, and then Stuttgart to Heil, more news about Stuttgart to Heilbronn, charity live stream, blah blah, winter survey, make sure to fill that out, and yeah, that's it. So we've almost got, it took us from Exeter through Newton Abbot almost all the way to Torquay to get through all that information. And I am really looking forward to the Medway Valley, because it's going to have a ton of new features. Talking to the dispatcher, interactive GSMR radio, suspension, announcement, all that jazz. Beautifully modelled route. I think Firefly has set themselves up to become the Just Trains of modern British content. And I mean that positively, because Just Trains, while being an absolutely excellent development group, haven't focused too much on the modern stuff. The only thing they've done in the modern British Railways era, modern National British Railway Network thing era, sorry, is the only thing they've done on that front is the Transport for Wales Pacer gameplay pack for Cardiff City Network, which, while decent, isn't too much to like, yeah. So yeah, like all of Just Trains' other content, the Blackpool branches, Preston Carlisle, Preston Crew, and the Class 86 have all been have all been in the British Railways era, specifically 1986. So what I really do hope that we get, I really hope that Firefly becomes the 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 Just Trains of modern British content, because like bringing an interactive GSMR radio into the game in your first add-on and adding new features, updating a bunch of older content, like, my goodness. We've got a station. What is this station here? Oh, it's Tor. We're skipping Tor. Oh, crumbs. Coming through. And then I also heard via hearsay, so I cannot confirm whether this is true or not, just putting that out there, but someone in the comments of Train Sim Society's video on the week 2 of Season of Reveals video pointed out, said something which blew my mind. Apparently, somehow, the Firefly Simulations team has managed to fix the blurry textures issue on the Medway Valley. I don't know how true that is, but if that's true, it appears once again third parties have beaten Dovetail Games to the punch when it comes to core features and fixes. Yeah, this we've got Torquay coming up. Of course, as I never fail to point out, the home of Basil Fawlty and Fawlty Towers. If you haven't seen Fawlty Towers, go to your nearest streaming service and go give it a watch, because it is absolutely hilarious. I mean, some of the humor wouldn't be permissible in today's society, but I would definitely go give it a watch if I were you. Right, let's crash on the brakes for the stop at Torquay. Oh, whoa! We're really early. We're over 3 minutes early.
This is Torquay. This is a cross-country service to Payton. The next station is Payton.
Yeah. Let's have a bit of a look round, why don't we? Bit of a look round Torquay. Buildings look nice. Yeah. The Riviera line has become one of my favourites since I've gotten it. I know I often give Dovetail quite a bit of flack these days for their business practices, but sometimes I try to give Dovetail some credit, and then I find stuff like this, where I could just walk through the fence. Oh, why do I do this to myself? Why do I try to give the developers credit? Well, they deserve credit for good stuff. Yeah, Torquay, like the modeling of this route, it's pretty good. Modeling, rolling stock, pretty dang good. Oh, headphone volume warning. That's the most rapid rate of fire I could achieve by rapidly clicking my mouse button. And like, look at these little details, like this little boat here. That's so cool. Oh, hard hats. Bonk. Yeah. Oh, hello. I didn't even mean to get that one. I'm really hoping to see the Firefly Sim team do well, because having experienced their absolutely excellent mods for Train Sim World, I'm glad the console chaps can finally get their hands on something from the team, and this is going to be I have the feeling that this is going to be one of the best loved routes in Train Sim World history. Right, headphone volume warning. Oh, I like how there's not too many invisible walls. wow, a public telephone box. You never see those anymore. I know, but everyone seems to have their own phones nowadays, you know what I mean? What is this? A phone booth? Wish I could take my own picture, that'd be hilarious. Oh my goodness, that 220 is so loud, but that is realistic for it to be absolutely chugging away like that. Right, let's get back on board. 1 minute to go till we head off to Paynton. Shut the doors with 30 seconds to go. I love how the engines spool up after you put the reverser in forward. That's actually so cool. Does this thing have a hill start button? Yeah, it does. That'll be very helpful on the Birmingham Cross City, especially at Bromsgrove. Next and final stop, Paynton in 2 miles.
The next station is Paynton. This is a cross-country service to Paynton.
I wish one thing that All Aboard Studios were able to implement on Birmingham to Crewe, yet Dovetail seem unwilling or unable to with the announcements is, like, on Birmingham to Crewe they have the see it, say it sorted, like, please text the British Transport Police on this number if you see something suspicious, and then they do the see it, say it sorted, like that is one of the most common announcements on the British Railway network, and it's driven me crazy every time I've been on a British train, but that's beside the point. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, like, why haven't been Dovetail able to implement that on the Riviera line when All Aboard Studios working at short notice were able to implement it on Birmingham Crewe? Just doesn't make sense sometimes. Right, we've got a single yellow with just over a mile to go to Paynton. Do like the scenery on this line. It is really decent. Rivet Games and Dovetail Games did a great job on this route, like in terms of scenery, rolling stock, all that. Do have a 15 limit coming into Paynton, so that'll be interesting. Oh, there's a 150, double 150. Nice. Right, we do have a red signal before we get into Paynton, but I imagine that's because of the level crossing barriers just by the Paynton level crossing barriers. Hopefully they'll go down once we get there. The Medway Valley line, we are, like, going back to the Medway Valley, it's nice that we can have this, because, like, that Firefly are doing Medway as the first route, because it's a route that's, I've never been on in real life, never even been to Kent in real life, but Southeastern High Speed holds a like, personal, like, I have a personal connection to Southeastern High Speed, because it's the first route I ever played in this game. Like, ever. And to see a new Southeastern route coming to the game is pretty exciting. Also, I'm glad to see the 375 getting a bit of love, and the new headlight clusters, and the GSMR radio, and basically everything else that Firefly are doing for it. And I think this will probably become one of my favourite modern era British routes, the Medway Valley, because I do love me some good quality. I don't play with one handle units too much, but holy, like, I cannot ignore the absolute quality. Oh, there's some rail fans. Give him a toot on the bridge. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what Firefly are cooking up. Sadly, it's not until next year. We're not getting it till next year, but honestly, I couldn't care less, because I just want to see. I want them to take their time and make sure that it's done right, and that there hopefully aren't any launch bugs. There will be a few launch bugs, but hopefully less than the usual bajillion that. Remember Birmingham Crew, the disastrous launch that had? I hope that doesn't happen again. Right. Well, welcome to Paynton. Just come all the way from Bristol. Oh, the bar's gone all the way to the top, yet it's not saying I've completed the service? What? Come on. There we go. What? Unlock the doors again. Okay, this is a bit weird. Bit of a bug here, I think. Alright, shut the doors again, please. What? What's going on here? Let's unlock both on both sides just to make sure that this isn't me just doing something stupid. And let's lock both. Just do it twice just to make sure it recognizes the input. Right, come on. You have to let me... What? Okay, so that is where I'm going to leave this video for today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell for notifications if you have subscribed, follow my Twitch, follow my Blue Sky, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.